Now we want to become part of the e-shelter's home to the cloud. You still have some water? Otherwise, this is a fresh one. Because after an hour of panel discussion, now another 20 minutes for you. Use your time.
Can you hear me okay?
Not by now.
Please don't run away.
Yes,
I mean,
there's
so
no, just stay.
I'm already getting excited about the cryptos, and I should keep continuing talking about the cryptos, right? But no, I think I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So I did, do my introduction, and yeah. So first of all, thanks a lot for joining my session. I think it has been a very busy day for you guys, and yeah. So thanks for spending some time with me and my company. So my name is Toan. I run business development and marketing for eShell in Europe. And so as I did mention in my last session a second ago, basically, so we are one of the largest data center and colocation provider in Europe. And so a lot of you guys probably are asking yourself, so how can a data center provider help me with my hybrid and multi-cloud solutions, right? I mean, it's a fair question, definitely. But please be patient with me. So hopefully by the end of my presentation, I'm going to have answered some of your questions, right? So how do we connect eShelter with you guys in the space of hybrid and multi-cloud solutions? Before we jump into the details and talk about the how and the why and the whatnot, I want to give you some insights or share with you some insights around some trends that we are seeing in our industry, basically, right? So around co-location, data center, cloud, and service providing. Yeah, so I really like this question. I think this question is a very valid question these days, right? So who wants to be a CIO and chief digital officer? I think it's a very fancy title to hold, right? I mean, to be a CIO of a company. But to be very honest, I think these days you're going to be faced and confronted with a lot of challenging questions if you are the CIO and CDO of a company, right? And are you really ready to face your new competitors, right? Is your IT ready for the new changing business? And then last but not least, I think this is really the key question. Do you have the right partners and technology in place, right, in order to build up a digital infrastructure that can really help your business? So obviously everything these days is going digital, right? So customers, channels, and all of the products. And that's because of us. We like to consume services instantly, right? Everybody of us, we want to consume services from our smartphone, and therefore a lot of the products and the channels, how we engage with our customers needs to be digital, right? And so therefore, I want to highlight a couple of things here. So for us in our industry, right? So going alone and doing it alone in the future, right? To prepare for this digital transformation, which equals the business transformation, you can't be alone anymore, right? So you need to have the right partners. You need to have a vibrant and healthy ecosystem. And then the next point is, the barrier to enter new markets are getting lower and lower, right? And that, I think, drives a lot of the demand and the exploration to become open. I think openness is going to be foundational in the future. And then connectivity, I think, again, very obvious. Everybody wants to be connected. We want to really chat and talk and do emailing all the time. And so this will drive a lot of the any-to-any connectivity, and therefore, this is really one of the key areas in our businesses, well, in the eShelter business as well. So what else is happening in our industry, right? I mean, software development, delivery is becoming core, right? I mean, these days, all of the CIOs, they ideally they want to have thousands of software developers, right? Before that, I mean, they used to have their little IT department that runs their data center, their equipment. But nowadays, if you talk to large enterprises, everybody wants to have with thousands of software developers, right? Which is great for our industry, which drives a lot of business. And then everything is obviously going IT as a service, right? Really, everything is basically in the cloud, which drives a lot of growth, which we all in our industry are seeing, in the past few years. And so what is really new? A lot of things are new. So the list can go on and go on and go on. So which is great. So which drives our customers in their rethinking process, and also for them to ask like for new technologies and new partners as well. Yeah, and believe it or not, I mean, colocation data center used to be a very boring space, right? So 5 or 10 years ago, I mean, people were really thinking of a data center just like a brick and mortar space, right? Like 4 walls, a roof, and that's it. But nowadays, I mean, colocation data center plus connectivity is becoming really the core for digital transformation, right? And if you look at this picture on the screen, so there are basically 2 areas for the digital infrastructure, right? So we are seeing the so-called edge area where all of the things and the cars and all of the connected devices will be computed, right? And then we see the core and the cloud space where all of the data store will happen, all of the analytics will still happen, and a lot of the heavy workloads, right? That a lot of the enterprises they still have in the data centers will happen in the core data center and eventually also in the cloud. And for us as eSchalte, the latter part, right, the core and the cloud business are very often directly in our data centers, which means if enterprises come to eSchalte and they are part of our platform, part of our ecosystem, they can leverage really data center technology and also the cloud at the same time, right? Because it's everything is really basically merging together. So what does it mean? What do we offer actually? So we want to eventually provide a secure home for your IT, a capacity, with capacity for you to grow your IT basically, a networking, platform to connect everything which you need for your digital infrastructure platform, and then a room for you to innovate. So what does it mean? So I will talk about the innovation lab a little bit later, but this piece is really, I think, it's key, where we partner with a lot of technology partner startups and then really provide innovations and for you to tap into new emerging technologies as well. So again, the things that we want to provide to enterprises and partners are twofold. One is really like a global footprint. So as of 2015, we are also part of the NTT group. It's a Japanese conglomerate, and so therefore, before that, we only had a data center footprint in Europe. Now with NTT, we span the globe with a lot of data centers, which is great and gives you really global coverage. And the second thing that I will be talking a little bit later is really, you need to have a very healthy ecosystem, partner ecosystem, for you to explore new technologies and innovations, right? And then specifically, I will dive into the innovation lab as well. So again, eSchalte used to be really strong in the data center business. We are still very strong in the business, data center business. We're investing a lot of money across Europe to ramp up new data center, but we want to go beyond just space and power, basically, right? And we had that discussion before in the crypto panel discussion. But moving forward, I think since we're seeing that customers and enterprises are looking for a partner ecosystem and a room for them to tap into innovation, you want to focus on these 2 areas. So around the partner ecosystem and the eSchalte Innovation Lab. And again, the Innovation Lab is basically a technology platform where we join forces with 60+ partners. We have technology partners. We have all of the major cloud providers like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and then other partners in this space, where we pre-package a lot of interesting applications around hybrid and multi-cloud IT for enterprises to tap into, right? So really prepackaged use cases, and as of today, we have already 40 plus prepackaged use cases where customers can come into the innovation lab and just pick and choose, right? So I'm interested in SAP HANA, on-prem, but at the same time, that should be connected to Amazon Web Services because I want to run, like SAP HANA dev and test on top of AWS. So these are the use cases that we can provide out of the box. And the second part, besides the eShell Innovation Lab, is we have a bunch of partners in our ecosystem, and we are basically having 3 different categories. So we're having a lot of technology partners, and this is just a snapshot, right? So really that help us to cover different technology areas, really public cloud, private cloud, application, big data, storage, and so on and so forth. And the second group are around the cloud service providers, where we partner with Amazon, Google, Bechtle, and other partners. And last but not least, I think that's going to be really the key. We have a broad set of systems integrated in our partner ecosystem, also innovation lab, that helps enterprises to really run and do the digital transformation, right? I think that's going to be really the crucial part when you have this partner ecosystem together with the customers. Now I want to give you some really highly tangible examples of the use cases around hybrid and multi-cloud that we provide out of the innovation lab, right? So you are asking yourself, and I did mention it in the very beginning, so what are the things, right, that eShell can give me really tomorrow for my hybrid and multi-cloud story? So this is one of the area that we have been focusing on for quite some time. So it's around Azure Stack. Right, so I think everybody here in the room knows what the public Azure cloud is, but there's another offering which is basically Azure in your on-prem data center or in a data center colocation, right, which gives you really Azure as a private cloud technology piece. And I think this is a very unique spot within the eShell Innovation Lab, where we managed to bring all of the Azure Stack partners together and bring it to our customers and enterprises, right? So customers can come to us and really explore all of these Azure Stack partners, Dell EMC. So some of them are already up and running. Some of them are ramping up their Azure Stack in the Innovation Lab. And so again, I think this is within the eShell Innovation Lab in Frankfurt. That's probably the only spot in Germany or maybe in Europe where you have all the Azure Stack in one place, and you can try it out and see what the differences are and whatever you like. Then we have a second area where we want to be focusing on. I think VMware is a very common, hypervisor still. A lot of the enterprises, a lot of you guys probably use VMware in your data center. So what we want to do is really give you access to VMware on top of Amazon Web Services, right? This is going to be a new offering. It started in the US. They are about to roll it out in Europe. So I think the beta program for London, it's up and running. The next AWS region will be Frankfurt, where that's basically our home turf. And so we are partnering with some systems integrators, and we want to provide enterprises and customers really with the capability to leverage VMware on top of AWS, right? Having really, I would say, both benefits from the VMware world, where everybody's really familiar with, and then, with the public cloud around AWS. And then, last but not least, I think, besides Azure, Amazon Web Services, I see a lot of appetite and also trends towards the Google Cloud Platform, GCP, right? I think these guys are basically, really sharing the big public cloud market today, and therefore, so obviously we want to bring this technology and the opportunities around hybrid and multi-cloud into the Innovation Lab as well. So in this space, we're partnering with Cisco, so they provide some similar approaches like Azure Stack and the VMware on AWS piece. So you can basically have like Cisco technology, on-premise in the eShell, the data center, and then get it highly connected, to the GCP cloud. And we have the same approach or something similar with another partner, around this hybrid and multi-cloud approach. This is Nutanix. So we are partnering with Nutanix already for quite some time. And so I do believe that, so with the Innovation Lab, with this broad set of different partners, we're giving a lot of benefits to enterprises and customers that want to tap into really different sort of hybrid and multi-cloud approaches. So with that, I want to wrap it up a little bit because I spent quite some time on this stage already with you guys. So hopefully I could give you like the broader picture of how can eShell help you with your hybrid and multi-cloud story, right? Specifically in the Innovation Lab, I think this is a great place where you can basically come to our booth, book the use cases, book the POC environment, and we can start away right next week, right? So once you're back and you figure out what's going to be the best solution for your environment, and so I will be around with my team at booth D04. So please stop by and have a discussion with my team. And we would be more than happy to explore more other use cases with you guys around our eShell Innovation Lab. Thank you.